want to talk to you guys about this lens right here, the Canon 18-55 kit lens. Mistagrafix. Like all other kit lenses, guys, it's just underrated. Just an underrated kit lens, right? It's an underrated piece of gear by photographers and videographers a lot of the time, because a lot of us are just chasing the latest gear. We're just chasing, the prime lenses, the big boy lenses, right? But the truth is, guys, is that with that lens, I've been able to achieve professional results. Right? So that lens is not an unusable lens. Like a lot of beginners, and here I'm talking especially to beginners, they think that this lens is incapable. So they start saving up and thinking that they're going to get the best lens, right? And they don't need to use that lens too much, because that's not the lens that they really want. That's just the lens that got delivered with the camera, right? Because I know me, when I first started with my photography and videography, right, I started out with this camera right here. This camera right here, right? The Canon 100D, right? And that camera was released in 2013, right? It's a small little 18 megapixel camera, right? So it's not really that good in low light. The autofocus is rubbish, and the list goes on. But with this camera and with this lens, I've been able to achieve professional results anyway. And you need the flash, of course, in certain situations, because if you're doing studio photography, for example, if you're not outdoors, right, there's not that much light coming inside the sensor, right? So don't neglect that little kit lens, guys. That little kit lens is quite powerful, because me, I've done some product photography with it, right? I even done a few portraits with it, stuff like that, right? I've done loads of photography with it, right? But like, for example, this watch right here, right? This watch right here, I've done some test shots with it using that lens, right? I've done as well test shots with this item right here, right? The focus is right, and when you see the results on that, then you gather that it's a really great lens, all around lens to work with. Even I would say it's a professional lens, to be honest, but it's just professional, meaning it depends how you use it. And I even used it to shoot a wedding video. I've used it to shoot a wedding video. When I first started my videography, right, I've used the kit lens for nearly everything, to be honest, because that's the only lens that I pretty much had. I had 3 lenses at the time, right, when I first started, because I had to do it on a cheap and I was still learning, right? So I've had this lens that came with the camera. I've got the 75-300. That's what I've been using for zoom lens to get to really shoot from far. Let's say I'm doing football photography, right? I'm doing, wildlife. So that lens was really great. And shout out to that lens. I'm going to make another video for that, right? So please like, share, and subscribe to see more. So yeah, and also there's been also another lens, right? That's the 50mm. Now that's a banger for your buck. The 50mm 1.8. That one was pretty much the bread and butter of my photography and videography, right? Know what I mean? But I'll leave that chat for another video, because that's a whole other video and a whole other lens on its own, right? So it deserves its own video in its own space, because that lens is just a banger, right? I'll say that lens is better than the kit lens. But I'm saying that the kit lens is a creative lens that you can use, guys. So guys, don't feel like you're limited, right? Because of a kit lens. You're not limited, right? You're only limited by the lack of skill that you have. Like, say you don't know how to use your Lightroom, you don't know how to use your Photoshop, you don't know how to use your camera, simple options, you don't know how to use the app, how to go down the aperture, you know how to use the photography triangle, right? I mean, shutter speed and all that stuff, right? Exposure, right? F-stop, right? If you guys don't know the basics, right? Well, you're gonna be having problems, man. You're gonna be having problems. If you don't know how to manipulate light, you're gonna be having problems, right? So that's the only limitation of a kit lens, is the size of the skill, and is the size of your knowledge. How much knowledge do you have to be able to produce with that kit lens? So that's all it is, guys. I mean, and also I've shot like speakers, all kinds of products, guys. I've shot all kinds of products with that lens, right? You know, I've shot even for clients with that lens. So, I mean, I wouldn't neglect it, to be honest. I wouldn't put it away, you know, unless you got better lenses, right? But, you know, I'm talking mainly for beginners, guys. You know, don't neglect your kit lens. Alright, guys, catch you guys later. God bless.